AskReddit by Blauschitwithstatus. What brand is huge, but you don't know a single person who buys their products? I just want to know who keeps Long John Silver's in business. Probably my dad. Reddit ads. He gets us, man. Who is buying all these Supreme shirts? Like, what happened that brought you to that moment? I knew a dude who bought Supreme and other brands to resell. He made an impressive amount of money, $10 KS month. Then he started selling drugs, climbed the ladder too high and got his place robbed. $100 case of clothes and drugs. If it was just clothes he might have had some recourse, but with all the drugs he had no choice but to move on. Anyways, he's been in jail for several years now. BetterHelp, all over my podcast ads. I did BetterHelp for a little bit because I couldn't miss time at work and it was my only option for early evening appointments. Did it for about a year and had 2 different therapists. They weren't super helpful and our conversations always turned into small talk. They never pushed any kind of help and if I didn't get us back on track, which I warned at the beginning I'm not good at and they need to be pushy for me to talk and dig deep, then the hour was wasted. The price is too damn high for the relaxed method of therapy I received. Honestly, it completely put me off of finding anyone locally for therapy because I don't want to waste more of my time or money. TLDR, BetterHelp is neither better nor helpful in my experience. Kylie Cosmetics. I'm convinced that all major mattress centers are actually fronts for criminal enterprise. In a time when businesses are shutting down left and right, how do we have 5 mattress stores all on one street doing just fine? Go into any one of them and you'll be the first customer thief seen in days. What are they really doing? It's an open secret that American candy stores in London are money laundering places. No one ever goes in there. They're run by some of the sketchiest people you'll ever meet. Oh, and during lockdown they stayed open despite no one being allowed to go outside. Goop, Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness shit, it's always in the news and apparently makes money. Who is buying it? It's Spencer's Gifts for Rich White Women. If you look at the website it's mostly clothes and dildos and then an occasional fucked up thing, vagina candle, snake oil supplement. That is so absurd that clickbait articles get written about it and Goop gets free advertising. What a room custom sofas. I've seen them recommend on Reddit a lot but never heard of anyone that bought them. Thinking about pulling the trigger, but it's always hard to buy a couch online without actually sitting on them. They are recommended a lot here on Reddit, but I checked their Yelp reviews and it seems like a lot of people purchase from them, but I never heard anyone bought from them personally. Balenciaga absolutely bonkers. Feels like a joke about how to extract money from mad rich people. Vintage Balenciaga isn't bad, but now I'm wondering if it's a social experiment to see how much money someone will pay to look like a hobo. Prime sports drink. I work in a grocery store. They do sell, but nowhere near as much as pretty much any other energy or sport drink. Tyler Perry movies. That guy is very wealthy and those movies are so successful, but I don't know anyone who has seen them. And yes, tell me you have no black friends without telling me you have no black friends. LMAO, I was gonna say you must not be black or have any black friends. Mattress Land. There's one every block in my hometown and they're always empty. Mattress stores are fronts for other shit and I can't be convinced otherwise. The restaurant chain. Every time I've seen one I remember they exist and notice that no one is eating there. I cannot recall ever seeing an ad or talking with anyone about that restaurant. I don't even know what kind of food they serve. In my circle, it would do better as a front for something because of how astonishingly unremarkable it is. I'm not asking everyone I meet, but I've never had someone acknowledge that they've eaten there. Back in my 20s, my friends and I decided to cap off a Sunday of drinking by stumbling into a pizzeria in Manhattan and proceeding to have an absolute feast. Half of us called out sick from work the next day because we felt so disgusting. It has since become known as the incident, and none of us have ever been back. Till I live around some fancy ass people. True religion clothes. The jeans look like they were kicked in the seat by a donkey. Well, I mean, we are well past the height of their popularity. They were everywhere in the late 2000s. Bloom greens. No one actually spends money on it. Influencers hawk it cause they get sent it for free. White Fox. Seems to be a brand that only produces oversized hoodies or stripper clothes. My teenage daughter saved her birthday money and bought one of the $70 hoodies. She loves it and it's really soft. Don't think it's worth that much though. Lamborghini. I'm not friends with rich people. Or farmers in the 50s. A lot of the brands listed here are very popular in various countries. Example, LV, Chanel, Lululemon, and L'Occitane are all popular in Southeast Asian countries. People don't see Lululemon? I see it absolutely everywhere. Every single thing pushed by YouTubers. Squarespace, Brainly, HelloFresh, those garbage hoodies, their stupid coffee that gets sent to you via airmail. That stupid air up bottle that doesn't work. Mont Blanc pens. I have met one person that had one and he said he got it as a gift, and it basically just sits on his desk as a display item. It gets used on the rare occasion he has to sign something. I teach internationally at what would be considered an exclusive private high school in the States. One of my students has beautiful penmanship and he got into a writing implement discussion with his classmates this week. Man, why is your writing so pretty? He uses Lamy for note taking and Mont Blanc for essays. None of his classmates knew anything, but I was deeply impressed. People referring to super popular brands that target people other than the posters. Lovesac. Who buys these overpriced couches? Have one and enjoy it. The name brand gallons of milk. My dad buys some kind of fancy milk for the days they have my son over. We use store brand for his chocolate milk and my parents go all out with some kind of $12 gallon milk. Does TV count? Because I haven't met anyone who watched a new episode of The Simpsons in like 20 years, but the show is still going strong. I could spend hours browsing Simpsons memes and not see any I don't get, even though I only really know the first 8 seasons well. I've recently started watching all the recent seasons and they are much better than I expected. Lots of parodies of recent movies and news stories.